So keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line. And your right palm on your left. Gently close your eyes and focus your mind to this bell sound, please. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So bring your attention to your body, please. And observe your body head to toes, yourself, and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, we're going to relax our body step by step. And following my words mentally, relax your body, please. Relax your head. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your eyes. Relax your ears. Relax your nose. Relax your upper lip. Relax your lower lip. Relax your chin. Relax your whole face muscles. Relax your teeth. Relax your tongue. Relax your mouth. Relax your throat. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders, arms, elbow, forearms, palms, fingers, fingertips. Relax your back muscles and relax your spine. Relax your chest and roll abdominal muscles. Relax your lungs. Relax your heart. Relax your liver. Relax your kidneys. Relax your gallbladder. Relax your pancreas. Relax your small intestine. Relax your large intestine. Relax your abdominal organs. Relax your buttock. Relax your thigh. Relax your knee. Relax your calf muscles. Relax your foot and relax your toes. Relax your whole body muscles, tendons, ligaments, bone marrows, and whole skeleton. Release the tension in your mind and keep relax your face muscles. So bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. So allow your inhalations or exhalations happen itself. And when it happens, just recognize it through the sensation of it. Don't visualize, don't think about it. Don't try to maintain or regulate the way you want. Just simply allow it to happen naturally itself. And separately recognize inhalation as inhalations, exhalations as exhalations. Let everything to settle down as it is. Do nothing extra. Time to time, be aware about your posture and the condition of the mind and your primary mental object. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalations and exhalations. Knowingly, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end of the inhalations or exhalations. Some inhalation exhalations may become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just recognize it. Don't try to change anything. Just accept everything as it is. Seeing and recognizing is the most important part. So you have to keep working on it. Observe how the calming down your body inhalations happens. Calming down your body exhalations happens. Calming down your mind inhalations happens. Calming down your mind exhalations happens. Calming down your inhalations happens. Calming down your exhalations exhalations happens. Finally come to the point to recognize only the sensation. There is no inhalation, no exhalation. There is no middle, beginning or end. There is no long or short. Just only the sensation. There is no subject or object. There is no observer or observing. Just only moment of experience. There is no self-centered name or form, identity. There is nothing called I observe. The observation itself is the moment of experience, and just be with it. In this very moment, the sensation you observe, nothing to do with your past or the future. It arises, exists, and disappear itself in this very moment. So just be with that moment. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. to all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, the life you experience, your physical, your mental, your social life, and at the same time, the spiritual informations came through a long journey and transformed to different methods and patterns. And today, what you experience may be very far from the reality. And maybe we just experience the shadow of the original form. And maybe just we gain the little part of the original truth. But still, the beauty of the Dhamma is like the salt in the ocean. It doesn't matter where the ocean, and it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. It doesn't matter how old or how new it is. Even eons by eons, when you hear the Dhamma, it always takes you to the same destination, which your liberation, your understanding, your ultimate happiness. So then in day-to-day life, whenever you have opportunity, without any delay, always remember to cultivate and develop your spiritual path. Because this human life is very fragile. It depending from many things, even sometimes through this new science and technology, we even didn't find out how many things help for us around us to happen this life. You may saw that the soccer player fell down while he playing. And all over the world, people shocked seeing that. And even the doctors telling he almost dead, and then he came back. His heart already stopped and then came back. And the people become wonder hearing that. But what the Buddha said 2,600 years ago, it is the very nature of this life. And it can happen to you and me both at any time. This life is like that. So then always you have to remember. So whatever you do, whatever you perform, and be mindful. Bring your attention to that bodily or verbally or mentally action. Be very clear with that. Rather than depending on good or bad, remember to depend on awareness. And sometimes when we go towards the good or bad, sometimes we look for the rewards. We look for the initiation. We look for the validation. We look for the appreciation. We look for the satisfaction. And when we look that way, what will happen sometimes, we disconnect from the most valuable thing, that is what your awareness. But when it comes to your awareness, when you keep your awareness sharp, clear, and if you always tune to your awareness out of that awareness, so whatever your bodily, verbally, mentally action come as a result of that awareness, always going to be right. Always going to be right. And that right action may not going to be good for someone. Even look at the Buddha. How many people try to kill the Buddha? How many people didn't accept the Buddha's teaching? How many people try to came and argue with the Buddha? Fight with the Buddha verbally. And not only the Buddha, all this generations to generations we see. People always have arguments, disappointment, disconnecting with the truth. Why? Because once we hold it to right and the wrong, and mostly we cannot recognize the truth. So then, why? Because the right and wrong sometimes deeply disconnect us from the awareness. To forget the right and wrong and being mindful is a challenge. Why? Because our entire world, when go with the right and wrong, and to let go that and hold it to the awareness is not easy, because we're depending from others' ideas, concepts. So then always remember yourself. The whatever right here may be going to be wrong for somewhere else. And whatever good for you, maybe somebody else not going to accept it. And maybe the whatever right for today, not going to be right for tomorrow. But still, when you become mindful, it always going to be the right action that you should take in the moment with the mindfulness, not just the physical, verbal, or mental action, and not the outside opinions or the outside rewards or the outside validation, outside appreciation. So rather than go with that, always it is your responsibility tune to inside. So that is one purpose in when you practice meditation. Slowly, little by little, you develop that art, that you develop that method within yourself. While you're performing, you start to see deeper inside you. So when it comes to the awareness, what the awareness does, the awareness going to take you to the bottom of your own mind, not somewhere else. So when you see the bottom of your mind, what you can see, the intention of the action. So that is very important, even outside result. The very intention of the action. It come out of your mind. So when you able to see your own mind and the deeper, the bottom, the intention of your bodily, verbally, mentally action. Remember yourself, you came to a very good point in your life as a human being. That is one of the greatest success that you achieve. Even with the outside world, we have seen people achieve to this world, through the telescope, through far away this universe. People used to see the stars, and even they came to a point to see beyond the time. That is a one kind of success. And through the microscope, and they able to see unseen thing through these visible eyes. That is a kind of success. But out of that all, remember, the greatest success that human can achieve is seeing your own mind. The beginning of your own the intention behind your own actions. When you're able to come to see it yourself, half of this samsaric journey going to be over. So then that day you can be really happy. But at the same time, remember, it doesn't matter with this outside world. Maybe in the future you will travel to this space and you may see a lot of things, whatever exists around us, and may whatever that other people cannot see. Maybe you have opportunity to see that things. But still, when it comes to the success of the real success of this human life, it is nothing to do with this outside seeing. It is seeing your own mind, the bottom of your own action, and seeing the intention and from where it come and recognizing that. When the day you able to recognize that, remember, you come to a point, you can be really happy, and it's kind of like you paying back to your old ancestors. You paying back to your old forefathers. Why? Because generations to generations, eons by eons, through these human civilizations, people work so hard, sacrifice a lot to gain that wisdom. You have no idea how hard it is. And you are so fortunate today. And sitting like this comfortably yourself. And hearing this and experiencing it yourself. So then get the best out of this. Don't give up this opportunity. Get the best out of this. It is the best that you can do to yourself. Why? Because tomorrow we don't know what will happen. It's all the material things is good. You have to appreciate it. You have to respect it. But at the same time, you have to remember, out of this all success, out of this all, the final destination you should achieve is what? It is your own recognition, self-realization. What is the self-realization means? When a thought arises, seeing the bottom of that thought and recognizing the intention. It is not you. It is not a kind of like a unchangeable consciousness happening inside you. And it is not a someone else's decision or the wish. It is not the unseen power or the creator hold you. It is the very experience of cause and effect. And once the day you are able to see that, then naturally you understanding this all happening depend on the cause and effect. And that is where you naturally get out of the self-centered mind, egocentric ideas. When you get out of that self-centered mind or the egocentric mind, egocentric ideas, there is no way that you're going to hold things, grasping things, clinging to things, believing this is me, this is for me, this is for my future, like that. Why? Because you already know there is no me. So this is a process that you go step by step, step by step. When you walk in this path, this is a mental exercise that you practice, and at the same time you have to remember when you go towards the truth, there are two paths. It's like the freeways, that sometimes it's two lines and sometimes two separate roads, westbound or the left, right and left, or the east and west. So like this, so like that, inhalation and exhalation. In the surface level, even though you can name the freeway or the highway or the road with the one name, it has two lines coming and going also like that. Left and right like that. So, in the path of this spiritual journey, there are two lines. One is conventional truth and the other one is eternal truth. So neglecting conventional truth, you cannot go to eternal truth. So neglecting the conventional experience, you cannot go to eternal experience. So before you drop the conventional experience, you have to recognize it. Without recognizing it, with just neglecting the conventional experience, you will never go to eternal experience. The very reason is this. The eternal means the final or the fully 100% recognition of the conventional. So then you have to see it. But mostly when it comes to our spiritual development practice, we neglect our conventional experience. So that's why sometimes observing inhalation, exhalation, oh, forget about inhalation, exhalation. I want to come to experience the nothingness. So without recognizing that there is something that you have, you cannot go to understand what is nothing. So then in the very first level, you have to come to understand with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, this experience, this perception comes to you. Accept it. That is the beauty of the human life. Because there are some existence, they cannot experience this. And they're missing some part. But when it comes to the human world, you are completely have ability to experience the total package of the existence. So then if you don't accept it, how you can experience it? So then if you cannot experience, how you can understand beyond it? So then in the very first level, remember to get into the conventional truth. So in the conventional truth, there are four important pillars, subjects that you have to understand. Neglecting this anything, you cannot go beyond this conventional truth. So when it comes to this conventional truth, to accept this conventional truth, one of the major important part Buddha's teaching is freedom of thought. Remember this. Freedom of thought, freedom of knowledge, freedom of understanding. So for that, basically, questioning, debating, discussing, gathering like this, listening is one of the major part in the Buddha's teaching. When you go towards your development of your liberation, in this conventional life, to cultivate your mind with this conventional truth, you have to go with this all the conventional facilities that provide us to develop the mind. So that is very necessary. So then when it comes to any teaching, any spiritual teachings, remember this. In the future, in case if you are maybe yourself, you will find a different path, or you go somewhere else, and you may come to another teacher, or maybe you will find a guru, your personal guru for you, or maybe you will become a guru to someone else, or like that. But remember these three measurements. If anybody tells you, if you really look for the truth, and if it is related to the Buddha's teaching, if it is related to someone else, something else, it doesn't matter. But when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, if anybody tells you, if it doesn't matter the high priest or the high priest or the any world famous leader or the teacher or guru, it doesn't matter. Maybe that person having 10 million, 20 million views, talks, or like that, maybe bestseller books, doesn't matter. Remember this. If that person tells you, if you hear from that person, don't question, just follow. That's nothing to do with the Buddha's teaching. Completely different. Don't question. So another one is, don't debate on the teachings. No debates. And another one is no discussion, only listening, follow. So when it comes to Buddha's teaching, to develop the freedom of thoughts, you need to have this all three tools in the conventional way. Questioning, and debating and discussing. And at the same time, you have to remember, so the freedom of thought should be free from the dogmas, ideas from others, and at the same time, our self-centered mind created dogmas. You have to have 100% clear intention to look for the truth. Rather than when you go for the debate or the question or the arguments or the discussion, if you have the preconditioned mind and you come to a point and hold some kind of ideas, and to prove that idea, if you go for a debate, it is not a debate. It is not a discussion. But when you clearly have a doubt, when you clearly have an unclear place in whatever the teachings you learn, when there is a kind of like a unclarity, always question that. Because the beauty of the Buddha's teaching, when you look into that, that is where you see. And not only that, when you question yourself and when you have that freedom in you, and it develop your mental ability or the capacity or the logical mind in conventional level, it is very necessary. But from ancient time, there is always a challenge with our culture, with our tradition, with our parents, and with our generations, and with our schooling. So, with our economy, with our politics, the one of the greater challenge today to protect your freedom of thinking. Because that whatever the information that we gain, it always trying to limit our freedom of thinking. So then when it comes to the meditation, don't bring that same kind of attitude to the meditation also. Keep the freedom of recognizing. Don't bound to even your own feelings. Don't caught up with your own experience. Don't caught up with your own ideas. That also part of freedom of thinking. So this is to do that way, you have to have a great effort to let go what you know. Especially when it comes to the little things that we believe. And totally you have to trust the mind. But mostly when it comes to still, even though we know now, the stars are kind of only the dust. When it comes to a point kind of like don't believe astrology, then it's kind of like, oh, this monk going nuts, this monk going crazy. You know, it's like there are some people believe, still they believe the people didn't go to moon. You know, because the moon is a kind of like it's a spiritual holy symbol. People cannot go there. Don't touch it. Still people believe it is kind of like a fake, you know, drama. And even that time people didn't, even still people don't believe that. And still sometimes people believe this all the space, you know, the satellite is this all the things kind of like you know, the kind of like a drama. It's fake. People cannot do that. See, that is still, you know, it is okay when there is nothing, you know, whatever is available there according to that. If you believe that, it is okay. But you have to come to a point to understand today, according to the wisdom that we have today, And even your forefathers and ancestors spend so much time, their whole life, and they spend this everything and found out something for you. Maybe they didn't have opportunity to see that. And that's why they used to believe it. But still today, you are more advanced than them. So then how are you going to believe the same thing like them? Why you still hold it to the same thing like them? Then how are you going to be a better person than them? If you cannot be the better person than them, what is the development of your generation? If your son or the daughter cannot be the better than you, what is the meaning of their development? What is the meaning of you became a father? If your son or the daughter cannot be better than you, then you have, when it comes to the whole generation, the same. So then always the next generation should be better than you. So that is just not only this the material world. In our mind also. Then what the problem then? Even though we give this everything to our children, and we give our all the facilities to next generation, even your forefathers, your ancestors, our past generations gave this all the facilities to us. They didn't give you the freedom of thought. They tied you to whatever they gave. They slowly tied you. You cannot think beyond this. You have to think. You can use this, but you have to think like us. So 2,600 years ago, Buddha is the one who challenged for that and gave that freedom of thought. You are coming from that, then you are not going to think like others, because they don't know about this, they didn't hear about this, and maybe they don't believe about this. It's okay. It's okay. But yourself, for you, 2,600 years ago, you own this path. And the Buddha came to this world thinking about you. Oh, in the future, there is a person going to born like this. So for him, for her, I need to teach this. That's why you hear that. Otherwise, if you are not part of this path, you're not going to hear that. See, there are a lot of people, they don't hear this. Why you hear? Because you will keep looking for this. And Buddha even knew you keep looking this. So then get the best out of that. Don't think like others. Don't depend on the things like others. You have to have the freedom of thought yourself, deeper inside you. Use that. Don't afraid to use that. It's going to be a challenge, of course. It's going to be a challenge. But it is okay. That itself giving you the faith and the beauty and the strength to go with it. Maybe somebody will criticize you. Maybe there are many difficulties come towards way. Maybe somebody will kill you. Why? Because you think free. But it is okay. Why? Because You not go with what is the right or wrong. You go with awareness. You go with the power of the mind. So then the first quality you always have to remember, the freedom of thought. So any teacher, any book, any documentary, try to limit your freedom of thought. Don't listen to it. It doesn't matter from where it comes. Don't listen to it. Don't allow anyone to get into that. That should be in the conventional life. When it comes to the knowledge, that should be your measurement. Is it, or if that person, or if that teaching, if that monk or the guru or the master allow you to develop freedom of thought, go with that person. Even the bull or the donkey like that try to help you to develop that freedom of thought, go with it. As you know, in the history, there are a lot of stories come with the animal, that all these animal stories, all these animal characters inherent this quality. If you look, what is that? It allow to keep the freedom of thought. See, but when it comes to the human world, we always trying to limit it. Why? Because the bottom line is all the economy, science, technology, religions, media, this everything governed by greed, hatred, or the delusion. That's right. When something governed by the greed, hatred, or the delusion, it always attack to the freedom of thought. Second one, human dignity. So when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, it always try to protect the dignity of the humanity. There is nothing in the Buddha's teaching go against the dignity of the humanity. Remember that. If any teacher, if any monk, if any guru, if any book, if any documentary, if anything, try to teach you something go against the dignity of the humanity, it is very, very far away from the Buddha's teaching. Maybe it look like, maybe there is a name called the Buddha's teaching, or it look like a monk, but if it is challenge for the dignity of the humanity, it's nothing to do with the Buddha's teaching. So then when it comes to the conventional truth, always remember, keep that measurement. When it comes to the Buddha's teaching, through his whole life, 45 years, there is no any single moment he challenged for the human dignity. He always protect that. He always go for the human dignity. Not to destroy it, but to prove that and protect it. So then in day-to-day life, when it comes to your practice, remember that don't challenge for the human dignity. And it's totally different from the Buddha's teaching. And today, when it comes to the world, look at this artificial intelligence. It's the society. It's a kind of like a new trend coming to having idea to challenge the human dignity. And even maybe your puppy or your cat or the dog or the animal, that whatever that you love, and maybe unknowingly you start to challenge to the human dignity, then you go wrong way. It is nothing wrong you having the cat or the dog or any animal you can love. But remember, never come to a point to challenge with that whatever the love you carry, never come to a point to challenge to the human dignity. That is totally different. So in the conventional truth, always remember with your practice to protect that. And look yourself and respect it. And that is where deeply your practice is going to become more real. Otherwise, it can become kind of like just a mental idea. So the first one, freedom of thoughts. The second one, human dignity. The third quality, when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, gender equality. It's a big talk. It's, when it comes to today, men's right, women's right, many other genders now keep coming day by day. There are new genders. But when it comes to this is spiritual path, it's nothing to do with your gender. Doesn't matter you are a man or you are a woman. You both have the same abilities. So look at it. Even today, people couldn't get it that. But 2,600 years ago, Buddha is the one who declared that. And even that time, the women is a kind of like had the hard time. But during that time, Buddha is the one who established the community of nuns. And then there are a lot of women attained to enlightenment. The kings, the millionaires, the many Brahman, and they used to keep the women in their kind of like their servant. But once they attain to the enlightenment, the king, the millionaires, Brahman came and kneel down and worship the women. It was kind of like for the society it couldn't handle. Even still in the society, look at after these generations, still it is exist. But when it comes to the community of Sangha, there is no gender difference. So then remember yourself in the conventional truth. When you develop the conventional truth, develop your truth with that foundation. You will see how difficult it is. How difficult it is. Why? Because everywhere, that hierarchy, that divisions, and all this, everything. Why? Because we still depend on the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So then look at yourself. when if there is a community exists with the freedom of thinking, if there is a community exist with the dignity of humanity, if there is the community exists with the gender freedom, the equality, how beautiful it is, and how strong it is, how comfortable it is. Another thing is the fourth one, human freedom. So look at after this many thousand years, where we are still. Even in the society, through this politics and economy, and we trying to develop the society as a kind of like we developing a slavery, human, and people become kind of like a slave. In the ancient time, there was a system, both men and women both entered the slavery. In rich household, to have, to earn some money, it was very common. The poor people go and work for the rich people. And as you know, in the human history, the slavery was not a small thing. It was a kind of like a huge part play in this, human history. But today, how is still that it can be in this society? So even though when it comes to this conventional truth, remember still, all the four things keep happening. There's no freedom of thought. There's no human dignity. There's no gender equality. There's no human freedom. And while you and me and having this discussion like this, how many still the human trafficking happening around the world and sex trafficking happening around the world. It is innocent children. Everywhere, all these rich people and selling human to sex, and sometimes other thing is mainly for the organs. Most of the terrorist group today and sell all these young, healthy, innocent children to the rich families, and which we call rich countries for the human organs, kidneys, lungs, heart, and then with this advanced science and technology, they slowly, in somewhere secretly in a room, they kill the person and take the organs and transplant it to rich people. That is how we use mostly this science and technology. See that, but during Buddha's time, there were many slaves got the freedom, and there was a woman, the one servant girl called Rajumala, and she had a beautiful hair, and the rich woman was so angry about this servant girl for her hair, and she got so jealous, and then she cut her hair and shaved her hair. And then finally, this Rajumala and tried to suicide. So the Buddha went to her and rescued her from that mental state, depression that she had, and gave the freedom. And there were many kind of Sunita. So one salvage boy, and he used to do cleaning the road and cleaning the toilets. But the Buddha went and bring the Sunita to the community of the sun. The very next day, the millionaires, the king worshipped this. Knee down and worship. Rather was the beggar. The very next day, and the people came to and knee down. Angulimala, the king and the army and everybody, and went and looked for Angulimala to kill. But very next day, everybody knee down and worship. See, the transformation happened, giving the human freedom because of the human dignity. So then remember yourself. And it doesn't matter where we go. Maybe in the future, we will start to live in the Mars or maybe another planet. Maybe the science and technology will take us to unbelievable place. Maybe tomorrow you will experience something more advanced than this. But still, if you are not capable to fulfill in this conventional truth, if we are not capable to develop the freedom of thought and human dignity, and to treat each and everyone like the same, gender equality and the human freedom, if we are not capable to protect these four qualities, which during the Buddha's time, when he established this community of Sangha, he established that community of Sangha with these four pillars. So then whoever follow this wisdom path, whoever become a part of this community of the Sangha, whoever become part of this Buddha's dispensation, always remember, you have to develop your conventional truth on these four pillars. If you're not able to hold these four pillars, you are far, far away from the Buddha's teaching. Maybe you look for, you dream, you wish for, you think for the liberation. But eons by eons, you will keep going. You will never come to even very close to it. You will go far, far away from it. So then, it's nothing wrong with becoming rich. It's nothing wrong with the science and technology. It's nothing wrong with this mass medias and the information that pouring to us. It's nothing wrong with the politics or anything. But if everything capable to protect these four pillars, that is the day the world going to be a beautiful place, and giving the security and freedom to each and everyone. When the human life become fulfilled and success with these spiritual world qualities, as a result of that, the all living beings going to be protected. So that is the day this entire universe going to be well and happy. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe, And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sappatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idammi punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Blessed.